Good morning. I just tried to go live on the video that I'd scheduled and I couldn't get the camera to play. So apologies if you're watching that one and it wasn't working. But I'm here now. It's complicated. I have to sort of add it to the stage and it didn't add, and I don't know why. So yeah, apologies, as I say, if you were watching that one. And yeah, I had to just end it because it wouldn't let me add the video. There we are. How are you all? It's a Tuesday writing session. I do plan for these to be Monday mornings, but I had a meeting yesterday that had been scheduled for a while, so I needed to do that, and it went very well. We also got a new dog, so she's settled just now, but yesterday we'd only had her for a day, so it was all a bit exciting. Yeah, she's settled for a bit. We'll see how she goes and if she comes to visit us. So yeah, that's quite exciting. She's a rescue dog. I'm going to make a video at some point, probably after the book launch, where I'll tell you a bit about the dogs. But yeah, she's a rescue. She's only got 3 legs because she was hit by a car. She's very young, so she's had the zoomies this morning. She's been a little bit crazy, which was very funny. And we're just working on her making friends with Dolly, who's the dog that we already have. So yeah, that's all rather exciting. I've got one of the proofs of the new book arriving today. I've had a whole issue, a supplier issue, that's been a bit of a nightmare. So I'm ordering various copies of the book to make sure that there is going to be one printed in, I think we've got a month now till launch. So I absolutely need that book to be ready. And I will make a video afterwards where I talk about sort of what the issues were and the various plans that I've put into place to make sure that there will be books for the launch. So that's the thing I have to organise later. It's been really stressful. The anxiety has been kicking backside lately. I'm convinced that lots of us struggle with anxiety stuff. So for me, this is like the worst time. Once the book is launched, or in fact, as launch is coming up, I'll be excited. But it's just this making sure that everything is in place. I think it's because I'm such a perfectionist, and yeah, I'm just in that phase where it's like everything's got to be lined up. Anyway, so excuse me, the plan this morning, as ever, is to do some writing sprints. We're going to do 3 15-minute sessions with 5-minute breaks in between, so that we can just pace ourselves. And I think that worked really well last week. As I said last week, if you would like to have a longer writing session overall, or you would like longer or shorter writing sprints, do let me know what works for you. I'm still feeling my way with this, but I feel like it's a really nice way to get started with some writing. As I say, usually this will be at 9:30 on a Monday morning, but today, not only was it a Tuesday because I was busy yesterday, but also the streaming software was not playing ball. Anyway, we move. So yeah, make sure you've got your writing ready. I am going to be having a little look at a writing project that I've been working on. Don't think I'm actually going to be writing. I'm going to be mapping out the story. So, but I will feed that back to you when we have our next little break. So we're going to write for 15 minutes and then we'll take another 5-minute break. I do want to figure out how to put a timer on here, but I have not done that yet. So all I'm going to do is pop a banner up to say that we're all quiet, we're all on mute. I'm going to stick some music on and do some writing. But yeah, I'm still learning this software. I'm new at streaming. So let me get my banner. Where are we? So a writing sprint for 15 minutes. I'm going to pop myself on mute. Enjoy. Speak to you in 15 minutes. Hello, everyone. Oh, I need to mute Alexa. Alexa, off. I hope that you got a little bit of writing done. So what I am doing, as I said earlier, I have a book that I've been working on, and I wrote it a few years ago, and then last year I did kind of a well, I went through the whole thing and rewrote some sections of it, filled in some gaps, made it a cohesive thing. And what was interesting is that it was a better book than I thought it was. I kind of expected to be reading it and thinking it was total trash, but it was okay. So I did a full rewrite, and now what I want to do is kind of look at it and see where it could be improved. So what I'm sat doing right now is I'm writing out chapter by chapter what happens, because when I wrote it, I did have a vague idea. It was sort of plotted and pantsed, and I want to look at it now with what it is and see whether I can introduce little elements to make it more interesting, or I can change the pace of certain parts, or whether some of the things that happen could be changed up or made more dramatic, or any of those kinds of things. Because I feel that the first third works really well, and then after that it's maybe a little bit disjointed. So I feel that if I can look at it as a whole, I can then come back into it and add sort of foreshadowing, make it flow better, and all of those kinds of things. The plan from there is that when I've done that rewrite, then I will perhaps send it to a few beta readers to get some opinions on it, and see if from there I can play with it a little bit more once I've sort of shared it. I haven't really shared it with anyone. And then at some point I want to work with a developmental editor, because fiction is new to me, or fiction in this context is new to me. And I want to make sure it's really good. And I feel that a developmental editor who's good at story will be able to help me with that. So that's kind of the plan. But right now, as we speak, I am writing out chapter by chapter. Here's what happens, and sort of trying to be able to think about it from a little bit of a distance. So yeah, that's what I am up to. Do let me know what you're doing. It was really nice last week that after the video went up, I had a couple of people who said that they'd found it really helpful. People seem to enjoy it, so stay long may that last. But yeah, if you would like to let me know what it is that you are you're working on, and it would be nice if, as this live stream moves forward, we can get to a point where we know what each other's projects are a little bit, and we can talk about it and help each other and give each other moral support and those kinds of things. Because I don't know about anyone else, I'm sat here in my office, which, by the way, I mean, I'm really lucky that I have an office, but it is a glorified word for a desk by the back door. So it's just that there's space for me to have a desk area, which is awesome. In our old house, there wasn't that. I didn't have a personal space like that. Yeah, I don't want anyone to think it's this glamorous thing. It's not. And my kids use stuff on my desk. I'm constantly being raided. Yeah, so I'm just sort of sat here at home with the dog that wasn't going to be allowed on the sofa, very much on the sofa, but she's quiet, so there we are. And I think we've just gone soft. So yeah, I'm just sat here on my own trying to kind of get into this, and I'll be here working through the day until I go and do the school pickup. So a lot of us are working in isolation. That's the point I'm trying to get to. So if we can support each other through this, I think that's a good thing, and help each other to get into our projects and get excited about what each other are doing. I think that's super cool. So for the next 15 minutes, I am going to carry on, as I say, just running through the chapters, getting my head around the story again, and also having a resource. I have hardly any notebooks, weirdly. So this was one that was my son's, that he didn't want any more. So there we are. So I've got like a resource that I can look back at. Anyway, let's get into it. I will pop up this bit. I'll speak to you all in 15 minutes. Alexa, pause. Alexa, pause. I forgot again. What a nice way to be called back into a break. Just me shouting at Alexa. Yeah, that is interesting. Working through this book. What's funny is I've got a lot of chapter 20s. I clearly got a little bit fixated. Weird. It's interesting seeing how it chops and changes and sort of remembering the story a little bit. I really like this story and I really would like it to be a novel. I'm excited at that idea. I've been working on it for such a long time, and I think initially I didn't really think it would come to anything, but it's something I haven't done. I've written children's books, I've written non-fiction, I've written memoir. So fiction would be great, and I feel like once I've done it as well, then I can do it again. Also, it's like a story that I can't get from out under my skin. That wasn't a great sentence. Yeah, I feel like I need to write it. There's stuff about it that I really enjoy. So yeah, it's kind of exciting. As I said, I'd love to know what you guys are working on. I think this is going to be my main thing until I am on the next Natural England book, because we're working on a full series. So the one that I'm releasing in a month is the second in the series, and I think there's going to be about 6. So in between times, I'm going to be working on my own stuff. I've got a few ideas of children's books as well that aren't in that series that I may do, I may not, I don't know. I'll just sort of dip in and out of projects and see what comes to fruition. So it's all pretty cool, pretty exciting. Yeah, there we are. So I think in this next section, I'm just going to carry on. I'm up to chapter 25. I'm not sure how far is that through this manuscript. I'm about halfway through. So I'm going to keep on going through and just writing it out. Figuring out where I am with things and what happened, and sort of character development and stuff. And there's a mystery. Here's the thing. It's going to be hard for me to really tell you anything without telling you anything, but there's a mystery throughout the whole book. But actually you find out a large part of the mystery quite early on. And what I want to do is guide it almost as if like, yeah, well, it's obvious what happened. And then try and make it clear that the big revelation is going to open up a whole load more. So you kind of go, okay, yeah, we know where we are, and then you're thrown off balance again. That's what I'm trying to do, but it's quite hard because the big revelation needs to come quite early, because it kind of changes the nature of the story. So there's like a big event quite early on, and we find out something. And yeah, as I say, that then escalates, that then there's all this stuff. There's like more. And it's the more that I'm sort of struggling with, more kind of secrets and mystery and what happened, and making that intriguing enough, and twisty enough. So that's part of what I'm working on. Yeah, and as I say, just we're looking at sort of flow and how cohesive it is. I've got a very sleepy doggy, which is good. She needs to get used to the sort of rhythms of life. She was very bouncy from the kids being up and the school run and all the excitement of the morning, to then come back. So Dolly, our existing dog, she's barely interested in us getting ready. And then when I come in and I'm working, I don't really see her until she wants some lunch. So she's just chill. Whereas the new dog is like, what's happening? So it's kind of getting her used to the rhythms that when it's just me here, we're quiet, we're relaxed. But she's doing well, bless her. I think she's really young. We don't really know. Anyway, enough dog chat. I'm going to get back into going through this story. So another 15 minutes, this will be our last sprint. And then we will reconvene for a little chat. So I'll pop that up and I'm going to mute. Well, I have no idea why I've suddenly lost my camera. This is what happened earlier. Well, let me see. Let me see if I can fix. Oh, there we go. That worked. Okay, I'm back. I hope you got some writing done. I have gone through the whole story, and I've just found a notebook that has got some ideas in. So I'm going through that and seeing what I've written, all my sort of little notes and ideas, which will help me to then flesh out the story, because there's definitely some bits kind of missing, and yeah, particularly the last third of the book is not so good. So that's a job for another day. I've got a doggo running around. She's suddenly got a burst of energy, so I've got to go and see to her. But it was good to have a look through all of that. I also found a load of notes that were completely irrelevant that I've sorted out to throw in the recycling. So yeah, productive for sure. So next week, as I say, it will be back to Monday, and 9:30 works well for me. I don't really know how that would work, like if you guys are in a different country or anything like that. For me, it's just a case of like I'm in and ready to sit at my desk. But if we need to jig the time around, we can do. What's up, Lulu? But yeah, that's the plan. 9:30 on Monday, and then that should be sort of a predictable weekly thing. So I'd love to see you guys join me in the future. Yeah, it's a shame this one ended up being a Tuesday. Anyway, I am going to wrap things up because I need to go and see to the dog. I'll speak to you all soon, and have a good writing-filled week.